Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Today, all the upasakas and upasikas, all of you have gathered here to learn the Dhamma. Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha. One who has fulfilled his paramis for asankhya and 100,000 aeons. One who has fulfilled his paramis and upaparami and paramatha parami. One who has sat under the Bodhi tree and vanquished the army of Mara. One who has attained omniscience. One who has taught this Dhamma out of his infinite compassion. So it is important to remember the Buddha, the true victor, the teacher of gods and men. To remember the Buddha is to remember the Dhamma. Because Buddha, the Supreme Buddha says, Yo dhammang passati, so mang passati. One who sees the Dhamma sees me. One who sees me sees the Dhamma, and one who sees the Dhamma sees me. So seeing the Buddha is seeing the Dhamma, seeing the Dhamma is seeing the Buddha. So to remember the Buddha is to remember the Dhamma. You have come here and taken refuge in the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha. Taking refuge is a wonderful thing. Taking refuge is a very noble act of inner purification. When you take refuge in the Buddha, when you take refuge in the Supreme Buddha, you commit yourself to discover your inner Buddha. The Buddha is the one who knows all the things, who knows the past, who knows the present, who knows the future, who knows the samsara, who also knows the Nibbana, and who also knows how to reach Nibbana. And what is Nibbana? Who knows? So when you take refuge in the Buddha, you must recollect these things. That I am here to do these things for myself. To know clearly as it is. Not just what I have heard from other people, not just what I have read here and there, not just what I think is correct or not, but things as they really are. Then you will know the Buddha. Now you have some concept. Everybody has some concept. Buddha is like this, Buddha is like that. But these are primarily concepts. The Tathagata is not bound by the concepts. Tathagata is beyond the concepts. But you can understand This is Tathagata. When you see the Dhamma, when you see the Dhammakaya of the Buddha. So taking refuge in the Buddha is to acknowledge at the basic level the enlightened qualities, the perfect qualities. We say Vijja Charana Sampanno, one whose conduct and wisdom is perfect. So to have basic level of confidence, basic level of confidence in the qualities of the Buddha. Yes, the Buddha was enlightened. He became the Buddha by by practicing for such a long time. He became the self-supreme enlightened Buddha. He taught this Dhamma. That's the basic level. Because that time you don't know. You have confidence to some extent, but you still do not know. You do not know the Buddha clearly. Then you practice the Dhamma, the teachings that the Buddha has given. Whether it is Sila, Samadhi, Panya or Dana, Sila, Bhavana, whatever you call. It is all about inner purification. Purification of our mind at various levels. Purification at the level of Sila. For example, our conduct. Whatever we speak. Whatever we do physically. Those very actions can be either a cause for our bondage or a cause for our liberation. So the Buddha has given, we say, 5 precepts, Panchashila, 8 precepts, or 10 precepts for the novice monks, or 227 precepts for the fully ordained monks. But then these are Sila, the virtues, the morality is not a number. It is the development of our inner virtues, inner noble qualities. What we do should be beneficial to ourselves and beneficial to others. Should be good to ourselves and good to others. Should not be harmful to ourselves or should not be harmful to others. So this is the foundation of virtue. So we take care of the speech, for example, and the actions that we do through the body. These virtues, they are not just mere practices, not just some kind of rites and rituals. More than that, these virtues have the ability to know, to make our mind peaceful. Because if one is following the good practices, harmless practices, kind practices, then one finds happiness and peacefulness. So then you know that this is the Buddha. But this is the Buddha. To that extent you know this is the Buddha. Because Buddha has perfected the virtues. So at least to the extent you have practiced virtuous behavior, you know this is how the Buddha has done. When you feel lightness in your mind, because of the practice of sila, lightness or peacefulness, whatever it is, then you know this is how the Buddha has practiced. Like this. When you are giving dana, for example, generosity. So, when you are giving dana, whatever dana you give, but the important thing of the dana is what? Important thing of the dana is to reduce the greed, the craving, the selfishness, the possessiveness. That is the purpose we do dana. To cut down on these things, to reduce these things. So the whole purpose, we say dana is meritorious. But dana is meritorious because dana has an element of reducing our greed. That is why it is meritorious. It has an element of developing metta, goodwill towards others with whom we share. That is why it is meritorious. Because of these things, dana is good. If these things are not present, then there is no dana, then there is no merit. So to that extent, you know, this is what the Buddha did before his enlightenment. If you practice bhavana, meditation, if you find peacefulness for some time, for a minute, for half a minute, for 2 minutes, for 10 minutes, or whatever it is, to that extent you know this is the Buddha. So take refuge in the Buddha. We say Buddhaṃ Saranam Gacchāmi. Taking refuge in the Buddha. Taking refuge in the highest qualities that we can develop for ourselves within our own heart. This is the Buddha. The Buddha developed all these qualities to the highest level. Fulfilled the paramis to the highest level. Generosity, morality, renunciation, patience, patient endurance, and loving kindness, and wisdom, and effort, and all these qualities. So, to that extent you do, this is the real taking refuge. So the Buddha is there in front of us. Not physically, through the Dhamma. But then, as the Buddha is here in front of us through the Dhamma, he is telling us, the Buddha is teaching us. The Buddha is teaching us what is the path. Every day Buddha is teaching us. If your mind is tuned with the Dhamma, then the Buddha is teaching you the right, wrong, wisdom, ignorance, defilements, freedom from defilements. So if you have to see the Buddha, you have to practice the Dhamma. That's the only one way. That's the only true way of taking refuge. When you say Dhammang Saranam Gacchāmi, it means I will practice the Dhamma today and tomorrow and day after. Till I become enlightened, I will practice the Dhamma. It is possible that some days you will do better, and also some days you will not do better. It is possible some days your mind will have a lot of wisdom, and some days your mind will not have wisdom. But then, important thing is to Keep doing. Little bit or more. When you can do more, do more. When you can do little, but do something. So that is important. What do you do something? Stay with the Dhamma. Stay with the noble qualities, whether it is sila, whether it is samadhi, whether it is generosity, whether it is metta, karuna, mudita, upekha. Stay with Dhamma. This is taking refuge in the Dhamma. Right way of taking refuge. If you take refuge like this, then whether you say or not, whether you say Dhammang Saranang Gacchami or not, but your mind is with the Dhamma all the time, every day. Dhamma is with the one who is with the Dhamma. Simple. Dhamma is not with the one who is not with the Dhamma. So sometimes people can say Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, and then they go and tell lies or do things that are unwholesome, any kind of unwholesome. Then that is just a word, empty word, empty, of no use. In the Dhammapada, Lord Buddha says, one who's not practicing the Dhamma just says nice things. These are empty words, and it will not have any result, any good or noble result. Such words will not have any results, empty words they are. Whereas another person who practices the Dhamma, whatever words they utter, those words have value. So this is the refuge in the Dhamma. You take refuge in the Buddha, you take refuge in the Dhamma, like this, in the right manner. You take refuge in the Sangha. What is the Sangha? The enlightened disciples of Lord Buddha. Enlightened disciples of the Lord Buddha who have practiced the Dhamma and became enlightened. They have experienced it by themselves. We say noble qualities of the Sangha. Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, one who follows the straight path, one who follows the noble path, right path, like this. So when you take refuge in the Sangha, then you also, instead of becoming crooked, you also make your mind straight. Instead of cheating or lying or deceiving or having this thing like inner encouraging our defilements, instead of doing all those things, we discourage the defilements. We make our heart straight. That is Uju Patipanno, straight. Nyaya Patipanno, right. Samichi Patipanno, just. So like this is a Sangha, is all the Sangha, noble Sangha, Arya Sangha, we take a refuge. They have straightened their heart. They have given up the unwholesome qualities. They have straightened their hearts. And if you want to be taking refuge in the Sangha, then you also have to straighten your heart. Then your refuge in the Sangha will be right. But if you say Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, but if you are not straight, You are not right. You are not just. You are not good. Then this is just words, has no power, has no value. Empty words. This is not Sangham Saranam Gacchami. So people say, when we take refuge in the triple gem, will triple gem protect us? We say yes, triple gem will protect you. But then you have to take refuge, no? You must take refuge in the right way. In the way the Buddha wanted us to do. Not in the way you want it to do. That's the difference. Don't expect Dhamma to tune according to your likings and dislikings. You must you must let go your likings and dislikings and make your heart tune according to Dhamma. Sometimes people want it other way. They want to do their things in their own way, which may not be very wise, may not be very wholesome, may not be very right. And then they expect other people to say, oh, I am following Dhamma. Or they think I am following Dhamma. They mislead themselves. Dhamma is for what? Opanayiko. One of the qualities of the Dhamma, when we say opanayiko, leading upwards. Leading upwards, because this shows us the right path. But then if you deceive yourself, then you are leading yourself downward. You are leading yourself downward. Other people are not. You are leading yourself down. That is not opanayiko. That is going in the lower direction, not upper direction. So when you take refuge in the triple gem, then you must take refuge in the triple gem in the right manner. Take the Buddha as your perfect guide. Nobody can teach in the way the Buddha has taught. Nobody can show you the path in the way the Buddha has shown, because he has, by himself, practicing fully, perfected himself to the highest level and has attained to the highest blessings of liberation by himself. So there is no one who can do it better. Somebody cannot come and say, okay, I can do it better. That's not possible. When it comes to the Dhamma, when it comes to the practice of Dhamma, understanding of Dhamma, teaching of Dhamma, leading other people towards liberation, nobody can do it better. That's the ability of the Tathagata. So you take refuge like this in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, by practicing, by keeping yourself with the Dhamma, not by staying away from the Dhamma. When you say Dhammang Saranam Gacchami, but your mind is generating unwholesome thoughts, or you are speaking something unwholesome, or you are doing something unwholesome, then this is not Dhammang Saranam Gacchami. This is Mara Saranam Gacchami. Lord Buddha has said in one sutta, suppose there is a place in the middle of a forest or in the middle of nowhere. There is a place where somebody has laid a trap. And that person who has laid the trap, he wants the other people to come and fall into his trap so that he can kill them or rob them or harm them. And then there is another person who comes and sees this trap and he closes that road. He doesn't let other people go towards that road which is dangerous. So the person who lays the trap is the Mara. Person who closes the road is the Buddha. So when you take refuge in the Buddha, you should take refuge in the real Buddha. The Buddha who is the perfection in everything, who is teaching wisely out of compassion to everyone, not just in the past, now also. Now that you are listening to the Dhamma, now that we speak the Dhamma out of compassion, though it comes from my mouth, but it comes from the Buddha. It comes from the Buddha. He is the true giver of the Dhamma. One who can truly claims that I have given the noble Dhamma, then only the Buddha can claim. So you must contemplate like this. The Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. 3 refuges. The refuges, when as I said, the refuges are our protectors. Because when you do like this, you are automatically creating enough conditions for your protection. Enough conditions. The right conditions, the noble conditions, wise conditions, wholesome conditions. Then only the triple gem will protect you in that way. If you say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, but do not do what the Buddha wanted you to do. Instead of going upwards, you go downwards. And then you say, triple gem is not protecting me. Then who's fooling himself here? You, not other people. Who's making a fool of himself? You, not other people. So to go to the Buddha is to go to the wisdom, not to go to foolishness. But then your mind will fool you. Your mind will trick you. Your mind will deceive you. That is our ignorance. That is our craving. This is where the Mara stays. This is where you must guard. This is where you must be careful. Only those who are careful right here can go to the Buddha and Dhamma and Sangha. They can make their refuge perfect. Those who are not careful, not heedful. Lord Buddha says, Appamado matapadang pamado machuno padang. If people are heedful, then they can go to the highest liberation, Nibbana. Pamado machuno. People are heedless, not paying attention to the right things, paying attention to the wrong things. If people are heedless, then they have no chance. They are as if already dead. Appamatta namiyanti na ye pamatta yathamata. The heedless are already as good as dead. And the heedful ones, they don't die because they attain to the deathless. So this is where you must take care. Our mind is our biggest enemy and greatest friend. If our mind has wisdom, then it is our greatest friend. Samma panihitang chittang Sayya sonang tato kare. When your mind is in the right direction, then you can do highest benefit to yourself. And if your mind is having ignorance and craving, full of ignorance and craving, and you are not even bothering about it, you are thinking this is all good, this is also good, this ignorance is good, craving is good, defilements are good, and you are enjoying them nicely, then you are damaging your life. You are damaging your life very badly. So it is up to you, up to all of us individually, to take refuge in the right way and to keep that refuge going. When we say we have refuge in somebody, like for example, now you have fever, you go to the doctor. You have some kind of confidence in that particular doctor. I go to this doctor, he will give me medicine and I will be okay. No guarantee you will be okay. Okay? You may even die. Who knows? But you still have some kind of confidence in the doctor. But this is not a very great, powerful refuge. It may work, it may not work. It may be good, it may not be good. But when you go to the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha in the right manner, then it will work for sure. If you go to the Buddha, take the Dhamma that he gives you and follow it, take it up, practice it sincerely. If you forget it, then remind yourself and again keep doing. Then for sure you will go upwards. For sure you will go to Nibbana. For sure you will be free from all suffering. Because doctors, when they see a patient, they also have to diagnose, no? Yeah, this could be this disease or that. This is probably this thing or that thing. Maybe they can do some tests. Based on that, they can make assumptions or make a assumption, okay, this is the disease. But then there may be other aspects. The body has so many small things. So maybe the general aspect of the disease they may know, but there may be other aspects of the disease that they may not know. So they treat for something and something comes up. It happens to people. Something else comes up. But the Buddha knows the disease in and out, in all possible ways. The disease of the ignorance and craving. In all possible ways. So whatever medicine he offers, I am giving you this. Take it. I know this is where people can make mistake, people can go wrong, people can falter, people can suffer. I know these are the various ways. So you can take this and do this. Because he knows the entire sickness. So whatever medicine he gives is comprehensive. Doesn't miss out on anything. I do take the medicine and some side effect will come or some other disease will come. No. That is not the case. That is absolutely not the case. So, Tisarana, we often say Tisarana. I said at the beginning, it is great, noble deed on your part to take the three refuges. But it is noble deed only when you make it noble. You take refuge in the right way. Not just ritualistic way. Not just, okay, other people are doing, I will also do. Not like that. Or what is there, okay, I just say this or that. Not like that. But to understand their meaning and take it up and practice it so that it leads to something better. In the Dhamma qualities we say, Pachattang veritabbo vinyuhiti. It has to be realized by themselves ultimately. By the wise people has to realize it for themselves. So we also should take it up like that. Then your refuge will be good. Then your refuge will be stable. Then you will see that refuge is actually good. Wherever you go, you will have that refuge. Whatever you do, you will have that refuge. Then you will not confuse. Will it work? Will it not work? Is it good? Is it not good? It will not be like that. Then you will understand, yes, the sarana, this is the real sarana of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, which is highest in the world, which is perfect, which ultimately leads to liberation. Saranagamana. So, this much we offer to you as our gift of Dhamma. When you take the refuge, take like this. When you keep the refuge, keep like this. When you develop the refuge, develop like this. When you fulfill the refuge, fulfill like this. Then your practice will surely lead to freedom from all suffering, Nibbana. With this, we conclude the discourse today. May all beings share the merits and attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sa, sa, sa.